Yeah, after the last one not recording.
Thinking not recording it, yeah.
I'm not taking that chance again. That was, by the way, I felt my body tuck up in between my butt. My whole body tucked up in between my butt cheeks as I freaked out.
I am sure we could have done it again and that would have been fine.
I would never believed in take two with this.
That we just made up something new.
Yeah, I know. Me and Mike had messed up one recording. Like, we realized like 2 minutes in that it wasn't recording. And we couldn't go back and say the same things twice. We just didn't have it in us to repeat.
I wouldn't repeat it. I would just do the same topic and just let it flow again.
Oh, yeah. No, that's the only way you can do it, because otherwise it would feel mechanical.
Yeah, and also you're not going to be involved in the conversation because you're thinking, what did I say before?
What did I say? Yeah. Thing. That's the problem with comedy. Like, if you're preparing for the joke, it feels weird to me. Yeah. Like, I don't know how to do that.
I think that's why people do like improv.
Yeah.
So you have to just keep doing what's next. It's always reaction.
Yeah, I can't get that. Anyway, welcome to Sean and Dave Borrow the Stage. I don't know what to call this.
We robbed the stage at gunpoint.
It's fair.
Are we recording?
Yes. No, okay. We've been recording the last few minute.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, nothing crazy. So we figured we'd do another one, talk about why LPs were better. Not the physical LP, but the idea of a side A, side B, and the flow of an album, because everything's released in single tracks, or like, 4 songs at a clip rather than a whole album, and that's so different than what we started with.
And I think when you think about albums and you sit down and you actually analyze anything that's good or bad, you're going to see that there's a flow, because they thought about the album and how and where a song would go. Unlike today, where they just go, okay, we have this new artist, they're the next best thing, they had this big song pop up, let's make that song go out, and now that song is the standalone that everybody judges them by, but you don't get to see what the album's going to be anymore, because now maybe that person wrote that song by themselves and now they have 17 people helping them write the album. And you have a different perspective, and they're not listening to the cue from that song. They're just going to shoehorn that song onto the album and say, hey, buy the other 10 because you like this one so much.
Well, that's the old we need a single argument.
Which is a great example, right? The album was done, then the singles were picked.
Yeah. Bring it closer.
Sorry.
No, you don't lean into it. Bring it to you.
Well, the reason why I'm leaning into it is because I'm more comfortable like this. And I was just leaning back for a second. But no, the albums were done and then the singles were picked. Greatest example of that is Number of the Beast.
Yes.
So the album was completed, and then they picked their favorite songs off of it to be the singles. So now that's not putting the cart before the horse, because you didn't have the album or the song or the titles or anything yet. You had the entire complete album to pick from. So now you had all your choices already set up. The album's done, it's mixed, it's recorded. What do you want the single to come out as, right? Now, something a little bit newer, you can go into like Master of Puppets or Justice for All. When you sit down and you look at that, you have the fast songs that lead into the third track, fourth track being the slow song, that lead into the side B with the fast track, aggressive tracks again, and then you have the instrumental. Both of those albums mirror each other. And it was a thumbprint that they used. And you can see that start from Ride the Lightning. And we're using Metallica as an example because it just popped into my fucking head.
No, but it was also earlier than that with them. It was on Kill 'Em All too. They had the instrumental. Like, every album had an instrumental.
The instrumental was the fourth track.
Yes.
And then it became the second to the last track or the last track on subsequent albums.
Yeah, and all the way through, I think that ended with Injustice, yeah.
Yeah, because then you didn't have that. And then that was also the input of Bob Rock.
Bob Rock.
Now, this is not saying that the Black Album or any album after that is good, bad, or indifferent. We're just using the idea of a thumbprint, side A, side B, and how, think of it almost like a book. If you have 5 good chapters that you've already listened to, you're most likely going to go to the next chapter to read it or see it or listen to it, however you...
And the B-side stuff sometimes... Usually, the B-side of an album had the less noteworthy stuff. in the early days, like the 60s and 70s, there was the stuff that they weren't expecting to be big hits. But it was usually the band's favorites.
Yeah, and then the B-sides became slang in the 90s for stuff that didn't make it to the album,
Yeah.
which is another interesting idea if you think about it. It went from the B-side of the album to this was not enough space on the album to sell it as a 15 track. So here's 5 tracks from that recording session that sometimes were as good or better than what you got in the primary album.
Because companies didn't want to make double discs, like double records, or even, I forget, I think it might have been Peter Frampton had the first double album.
You also had technological limitations. You had 78 minutes.
Yep.
That was it. So that you had to be within that realm. And also I think, and I could be wrong about this, some recording contracts required a certain amount of time to be filled in order for them to fulfill their contract. I've heard that on certain things, like, you know, we need one more song. Even in Black Sabbath, they were recording, I think, Black Sabbath, and that's how Paranoid became into existence. They needed one more song for the record label.
That was,
and it was rushed.
Paranoid was actually ended up on its own album.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Black Sabbath, Paranoid. They were doing the album. They said, we need one more song, and it needs to be a 3-minute to 4-minute song.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
And that was a Tony Iommi story that I just recently was watching. And they were like, okay, we don't have another song. And that's when that's how Paranoid came into existence. Ozzy had lyrics. They had the thing. They went and they did it. That was the last song that was recorded. The album was done. Became a single. Now you can argue, is that a good song versus the rest of them? Is it as powerful as it? And it wasn't an art thing. It was the record labels requesting and one additional track.
I think the same thing happened with Quiet Riot. Mm-hmm. That's how we got the Slade cover, "Come On Feel the Noise." Mm-hmm. I know they didn't even want to put Cherry Pie on the album. Warrant didn't
really,
and it ended up, not only did it end up being their biggest hit, it ended up haunting the singer the rest of his life. He became the Cherry Pie guy.
Yep.
And it can go either way, and that's the crazy part. Like the process can work, and like we were saying before, it can work either way. Like the formula can either help, or it can be the joke.
But I think that your cost benefit analysis, when it comes down to looking at albums that are good and that are great, is that when you had a side A, side B, you had more balance. Even if the side B was the lesser of the songs, if you're talking about in the terms of like Queen,
yeah,
I would be very happy to have every side B that Queen's ever written be something that I wrote. I think can't go wrong.
When you look at, like, so there's the Eddie Van Halen vault. Wolfgang has access to every recording he's ever made,
plus all the stuff he's never released,
and that's where the treasure trove of information is going to be. It's not the stuff that he's released; it's all the stuff that he didn't think was quite good enough to write with.
And on the flip side of that, you also have Johnny Cash, who they released a thing called The Vault, and it was all the songs that were recorded, B-sides and stuff like that were released. And there's like, I think 80 songs or something like that, or 100 songs on there. And some of them are great, and some of them are like, hey, it's a Johnny Cash song. It's not like a pinnacle thing, but it's great. And then you sit there and you go, that's a box set now. So when you're sitting there and you're thinking about it, these were just things that were pushed out as a group setting because it was like probably a money grab for the last thing. But box sets don't follow either rhyme or reason when it comes to it. It just goes, okay, we have a collection of stuff that we think will be good. Yes, someone is going to sit there and
remember when Alice in Chains put out Music Bank?
Yeah.
And it was, all the songs were good. They were all the songs that you loved, but they were in an order that just didn't feel like anything.
I think that's what I was about to say. You have a problem if the person who's curating it isn't a fan.
Even if they're a fan, sometimes they just can't get it. Like, some songs didn't belong together. They're from two different eras of the same band. Like, if you stick to Iron Maiden, you can't put Number of the Beast right next to The Klansman. Even though two different singers, even if you get a live version that Dickinson sang on, you're going to get two different feels. Mm-hmm. You can't get...
But even going back to, you can digress and say, let's put Dickinson against Dickinson. You wouldn't put Number of the Beast against Brave New World. No. Because the singing's different, the tonality is different. It's a more aggressive album in the sense of with like the gains they use and stuff like they use, and an up tempo, you can still see that they're both Iron Maiden, but it's not that scream yell that you have in the beginning of The Number of the Beast after Vincent Price's intro. It's not those ups and downs that you have that are just more curated around Peace of Mind, Number of the Beast, whereas Brave New World was like, hey, we got Bruce back, we got Adrian back. They want to write songs. And it's going to have a little bit.
After I think Chemical Wedding was right before his return, right?
Yes. No, Accident of Birth.
Accident of Birth. So it was right there. And the change back to Dickinson was very, very apparent because X Factor was not a great album.
But also, if you listen to Chemical Wedding and Accident of Birth and listen to Brave New World, the tone that Roy Z got on those albums appears on that album. It's something that, because Adrian Smith was on both of those albums. Yes. So you get that in there as well. Also, you get a completely different person doing the sound. Roy Z, far and away different than Martin Birch and anybody else that's worked on the Iron Maiden stuff. And it was like, it was breathing new life into it. It gave Dickinson something. It gave Adrian Smith something. And Adrian Smith was able to come back to Dave Murray and Steve Harris and be like, hey, you know.
And don't forget Yannick. There's so many members of that band.
We didn't even talk about Nico.
Yeah. Yeah, because he doesn't walk off the stage.
No. He just sits there and waits for someone to lower him or raise him
up. When I say walk off, I mean fall off.
Yeah. But again, getting back to what you're saying, right? Those are two Dickinson errors, right? Mm-hmm. And you have, again, the flow of those albums. And it was also, like you said, reintroduction of both of those members and additional song stylings. But we still have Martin Birch at the helm. It was like they read a new script and they were like, okay, we're still Maiden. We're still going to do a bounced album. And what it was like 3-4 singles off that album? That's unheard of in 2000.
Brave New World?
Yeah.
3.
All right, so you have 3. You don't see singles fly off albums like that, especially completed ones in 2000.
Yep.
Maybe 1 or 2. And we can diverge off of classic bands and go to like bands like Slipknot. Slipknot had the release of Psychosocial, right? That was
2 of 2 of their singles from that album.
Right? Everybody in that band hates that album. They've literally said, we hate this album. They were all unhappy. They were all disillusioned. They came together. They had to do it, right? And then they go to the next album, and that album's completely different. But what they have the benefit of is listening to their elders that came before them, seeing how the albums were put together, and still releasing. Because I believe Iowa was the last album of theirs that was released on cassette and CD.
I think so.
Before it went full on streaming. I think you could probably still get a couple of the other albums on CD, but it wasn't cassette. I think Iowa was the last one that had cassettes. So they're also in that world where you have a whiteboard that has your 10 songs, and they have no names, but they have riffs or they have whatever nickname they have, and they're being burned onto the board. And then you have the mixing guy or the sound guy or the engineer or whoever you have in there, people like Rick Rubin and stuff like that are saying, I think that works better there. Or I think that works better there, right? And another person that's an amazing person to have in your camp to do sound is Rick Rubin.
Yep.
Everybody shits on the guy.
Here's the thing. A lot of people give him shit because he's not a musician, and he's a producer. He's straight up a producer. But what he's good at is picking something apart and then putting it back together in a way that sounds appealing.
Yeah.
He doesn't know how to describe, that shouldn't be minor, that should be... Doesn't matter. He says, it needs to be something different. It needs a little more... And even sometimes he can't describe it, but he knows what he wants to hear.
Yeah. And that's the best thing, because he's the audience of one.
Yep.
And he said his favorite statement to make is, you don't make an album for the audience, you make it for yourself. Because once you make it for yourself and you're happy, someone's going to follow and listen. And that's the case too. But I feel like a lot of people are stuck into this world where the engineers are the ones who are finding out what's popular, and then they make a bubblegum version of the popular song and they release that. At least back in the day, they would recycle a song, and it would be like, we said this in the past, we were doing the previous episode, where you have the songs that are redone by people. Now, sometimes that's due to get a song to become a hit with a new artist, and sometimes it's done because the artist wants to do it. You don't even see that anymore. You just now recycle beats, or you recycle a tone. And we've touched upon this before, but it's like, if this track goes platinum, we want 10 more of those, because then it's millions of dollars, millions of views.
Serious question. Not really. Did you watch Stranger Things?
Some of it.
Okay. So their version of Separate Ways by Journey.
Yeah, I didn't hear it.
It was basically, they took the original vocals and remixed them into a completely different sounding song.
Really?
Yeah. Not bad at all.
Okay.
But it's a completely different feel. It's got more of a, I don't want to say pop music because it doesn't even sound poppy. It's just a different kind of heavy.
Okay.
And it was so interesting to hear. And I would play it for you, but copyrights.
Yeah.
And they're known for copyright strikes.
Well, I mean, that's the entire industry. And we have to make every single penny count, and we're going to squeeze every penny out of every other
The
person.
crazy part is that people are fighting tooth and nail for the pennies that they're earning.
Well, that's what I was thinking about the other day. There's two artists that come to mind that I was following. It was Katy Perry, who straight up took the riff, and they like literally settled the case. They were like, "We like the song. We made our new song. We're going to pay you royalties." And then there was another woman who's apparently, like, this song was South America, never made it to the States. Somewhere, and someone in her group heard it, and they didn't sample it, they recreated the rhythm for it. But it's like a 1-for-1 thing. So I can't remember her name, doesn't matter. We're just talking about it. And that they went after. And they're like, and good on the small group, because they didn't get paid out.
Yeah.
So they were like, yeah, that's our song. And they were like, yep, cool. Here's your royalties for it. They got like millions of dollars for a song they wrote like 30 years ago, 20 years ago. And that's right. You should, right? That's what they did. If it's a 1-for-1 thing, cool. But if it is like, oh, I can hear the influence, that becomes ridiculous.
Yeah.
And it becomes diluted. And the problem is, it's no longer about making something with substance and releasing an album that has a flow to it and has, like we said before, has like a fingerprint, and then it doesn't make the money that they want it to make. But we follow the fingerprint. Yeah, you followed the fingerprint, and everybody's sick of hearing the same 5 songs over and over again. I can listen to that song 5 times. I don't need to hear this song 5 different ways, unless you're doing something cool with it.
Yeah, there's the way that albums are, and this is more of the cookie cutter pattern for albums. Pop albums have their own set flow, and they're usually judged by the engineer. When bands do it, you can hear their sensibilities, even when they're working on somebody else's stuff. Like the albums that Dimebag did with Anthrax. He helped with Volume 8. You can hear his influence on the music, and also you can feel it a little bit on the track listing. Like, you feel it on the choices of where the songs go.
Yeah.
And I love that was something he was able to affect with that, because picking and choosing and all that, and that is such a huge part of the fight, like, that a band would have making an album. I remember working with Shadow, just arguing which song should follow which one. We knew which one to start with, we knew which one to end with, and everything in the middle we'd piece by piece go over. And but this one, and Luigi would say no, this one, and we just back and forth to find our placement. We finally found our place. We got at that time it was also the set list that we would work on. So it would be that, plus we'd pepper in a few other things, and that was a full set list plus a couple other songs, and we just fight, like, we roll it, and we recorded it, and we listened to it as it was, and that's the only way we knew that was the order. We did it like 6 different ways before we decided which order the songs had gone in.
Which brings you back to another thing. There's a band called Corrosion of Conformity that released many good albums, but one of the things people don't realize is James Hetfield's on a bunch of them, and you start to hear some of the things when you pick out his picking style and stuff like that. But also, what's interesting is some of the song titles mimicked some of the song titles on certain albums. And I'm not going to tell you, you guys can go look Easter egg style if you want, but like there's a song that has lyric about a broken man on the Black Album, as well as on not Deliverance, Blind. So you have this juxtaposition of how their playing and their ability came through and how to do the setup on the albums. And when you listen to those albums going from beginning to end, not Blind, because Blind has like 18 songs on it, but Blind, Deliverance, you sit there and you see that there was a definitive way that they've planned that out. Those albums have a flow. It's like, I'm going to punch you in the face with the first track. We're going to bring you down for a second. Then Vote with a Bullet comes in. You're like, okay, we're back on the roller coaster. And Vote with a Bullet, I think, is like 6 or 7 on the album. And that would have been the B-side. And that's one of their stronger songs from that. And you sit there and you look at it and you're like, wow, someone in the studio was like, we know this one's good. And also to point out that album and then the following subsequent album, Deliverance, is their biggest albums. And that's like 89 and 90, or 90 and 91, I can't remember. And those two flew into each other and couldn't be more diametrically opposed, because it's a different singer on the Blind album with Pepper Keenan doing backup vocals, and then becomes the main vocalist with the guitarist and the bass player doing backup vocals on the next album.
Okay.
And that's one of those things that's also unheard of. You have just lost an entire musician, and the writing was still strong enough, it was still different enough, and it was the only, I think, 2 of them that I think that they actually did like old school videos for. And it brought the album out because they had the ability to see and pull people in and be like, listen, this is like 90 minutes. We have to figure out a way to get you to track 7, track 8, track 9. You're buying the album either way, because you can't break it up right now. That's 13, 15 years in the future. You're screwed.
Remember having to trying to rewind to the beginning of a song, not the album, just the song.
When you had the
dual-sided
cassette and you would accidentally hit side A, then now you're on side A and you're like, I'm rewinding on side A.
You flip over. Oh, God, I hated that so much.
I remember listening to...
I had to explain how an LP worked to a kid. And a kid, I mean a 30-year-old, by the way.
That's a kid.
He was a fucking kid. I had to explain how a record works with the two teeth on the needle.
Yep.
And how they each read one side of the... And he looked at me like he had just opened his eyes for the first time. Like, what? I go, yeah, it's not just... You didn't think it was just reading the disc like a computer? He goes, I did.
I had my daughter look at VHS and she's like, Daddy, those are some really big blocks. And I was like, nope.
Close.
Nope. That's what we used to watch TV on. She's like, how? And I showed her how you could put the locks in and flip up the top. The tape media and stuff like that. And another perfect example of having something that you had to have sectional things on. If you bought a mini series back in the day,
oh God,
you had to take tape 1, tape 2, and if it sucked, you owned it.
Fuck that. Titanic on VHS was 3 VHS tapes.
You had to bring up Titanic?
I did. Frozen baby in the water.
Anyway. So you had to put the 3rd tape in order to see the frozen baby in the water.
Yeah.
That's the only way you got to see the frozen baby in the water.
Yep, you had to get all the way to tape 3. Otherwise, it didn't make sense.
You could skip tape 1 and tape 2 and fast forward, but then you had to fast forward, rewind.
But then you missed the opportunity of watching them steam up the car, and then think, wow, if this boat hadn't crashed, that guy'd be like, why is there cum all over my car?
Who's this sweaty ass print in my leather?
Ugh. Why does it smell like homeless guy? He was homeless.
Why does it smell like sadness and potato famine?
That's your new band name. Sadness and Potato Famine.
Although
Sadness and the Potato Famine?
Yes, because it is going to be an emo ska band.
Mike, you're up.
Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible.
I love that all most death metal bands have these names that are all medical conditions.
Yes.
Malignancy, exsanguinous. They're all these crazy terms. Nobody ever has like prolapse.
Because then I would talk about the booty, and nobody in the metal world who's a straight male can handle that.
Anal cunt. It's the only band I have with ass in the term, in the name.
Yeah, I guess because the
And
cunt
Butthole
is-
Surfers.
But that's the thing, right? So the Butthole Surfers, everybody was like, oh man.
I didn't like them. I just didn't like the music.
I didn't care for the music, but the singer was pretty decent, right? You know, like you don't have to like them, but it wasn't a masculinity thing.
No.
It was like, oh, I just don't. I didn't care for Ugly Kid Joe either, but I could understand why people liked it.
Ugly Kid Joe was interesting. Jackal was funnier.
But then if we're talking about that, like, you know, there's a ton of other bands that didn't get played in the 90s and are gone.
Oh, yeah.
So getting back to the LP thing, that they probably didn't follow the LP formula, or they followed it too much.
Speaking of people who follow it too much, Black Label.
Oh my God.
So first, I'll be generous. First 3 Black Label Society albums.
I gotta look that up.
Black Label.
Yeah.
Oh man, I already lost it. It ends with 1919 Eternal.
That's a great album. That's a
Sonic Brew.
But that's what's happened. 1919 Eternal becomes the blueprint for everything afterwards.
And then it's just, I remember trying to look up Black Label songs where it was just the same intro, the same chorus. I couldn't tell them apart. And I thought it was my hearing.
What's worse is when you can predict the pinch harmonic coming in the solo. Because like you knew it. It was like that pitch harmonic. Pitch harmonic. Pitch harmonic. And it's like, I'm not ragging on Zakk Wylde, because Zakk Wylde released some of the better album. It's just one of those things where I don't think there's enough input from people outside, because they're like, he puts an album out, people buy it.
Yep.
And it's not to rag on it. It's the same situation Fear Factory had. Fear Factory came out with Demanufactured. They turned metal and industrial on its ear and said, hey, this is what it can be. This is the idea of also fusing storytelling with like an album that was not going to be something ridiculous. It was going to be like these things. And again, going back to your joke about how all the names of death metal bands are, you know,
They're all medical conditions.
They did the same thing.
Homoptysis.
Self-bias resistor.
Yeah.
It's like, do you even know what a self-bias resistor is? Like, how does that play into the lyric of the song? But barring even that, they were like, okay, demanufacture.
Remember that album they put out, Genesix? Spelled
I
wrong.
wasn't even getting that forward. I was gonna go straight to, I think it was the third album. What is it?
Remanufacture?
No, obsolete. Where it's the rap metal. It's like, listen, we're gonna keep everything else exactly the same, but we're gonna disappoint the whole entire new metal community by adding rap metal to it, and it's gonna just be bad.
It's just on the other side of that, Machine Head also did that.
Machine Head had 2 good albums. They were a blind nut that found a blind squirrel that found a nut. That was it.
Are they the Blackening and Catharsis?
Blackening and the Lotus.
Unto the Locust?
Unto the Locust. That's it.
Catharsis wasn't bad.
Is that the one, the cheerleader opening, where he's pretends to be a cheerleader in the first 5 minutes of the video?
I don't know about the video.
It was so ridiculous. I sat there. I was like, really? And I was like, I was mad that I liked Halo after that video. I was like, and it wasn't like him being a cheerleader. That's fine. That's a good goofy joke. It was just how bad that song was. And I felt like I was like, oh guys, you figured out how to play, you figured out how to write. Oh, you know what I realized also too? They threw the other guitarist out of the band at that time.
Oh, that's when
correctly.
That's when Phil Demo was out?
I think so. I think Phil leaves after Unto the Locust, and then he gets replaced, and then they release that other garbage afterwards.
There's been 2 since
let me
Unto
back
the
up.
Locust.
Music is what you like. I'm very sorry. I did not care for that album.
I like how you had to dance that one back because I could hear this.
I don't-
I can hear the spit on that one.
I don't want to piss on someone else's good time. And
I kind of want to piss on somebody's good time.
well, if you have consent, that's what you do. But in reality's case,
Not that German.
there's too many people that gatekeep it. Oh, this album sucks. You like it, great. I just was expecting more and expounded upon versions of those albums, because it was like, oh, this is really
Well, that's what
something different.
Back to the Fear Factory argument. It wasn't the personnel changes that made the album bad. It was the repetitiveness of it.
Yeah, the album, everybody who left and came back and moved on to the next thing was fine. What ended up happening is you're sitting there going, this is the exact same album. And it's not even like, oh, this sounds. This is the exact same thing.
And that was the Black
Like,
Label thing, where it's just
Burton
the
C.
same.
Bell's going to go high here. He's going to go rough vocals here. He's going to come back into. It's like, that's the killing aspect of having a fingerprint, because then you get so locked in. You're like, oh
That's
my God,
that's pigeonholed.
I can't do anything but this, and I won't be successful. And I also understand that your first album, you want your second album to be good. So your second album is going to be similar to the first album, but then your third album should have been like an experiment onto the next thing, which technically they did, but it was poorly received.
It was a poor step.
Yeah, especially since isn't the guitarist from
Dino?
Fear Factory also in a death metal band, which is actually really good.
Assassino?
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
he's in a death metal band that's actually really excellent.
He's the it's him, Billy Gould, and I can't remember the drummer. I think it might be Gene Hoglan on drums.
It's an excellent death metal band, and they consistently release good albums.
It's just that band, that method isn't working.
I feel like it's the Todd McFarlane method. I'm going to write the same story with different characters over and over again, and you're going to buy it. And then I'm going to put out characters that look like other characters and get copyright infringement, but I'm still going to make money off them.
It sounds about right.
Yeah. It's like, let me do exactly what Neil Gaiman's doing. I got sued.
It's like, let's not do all the things Neil Gaiman's doing.
You know what? Unfortunately, Todd McFarlane, has he gotten an SA case?
I don't think so.
Shitty writer with.
I don't follow him. That's as much as I would be like I like Spawn.
I thought Spawn was
Spawn.
very interesting for what it was, but it was also a one-note pony. It was like that should have been a 2-hour movie like it was.
Oh, I meant just the comic books themselves should have been a limited series
Yeah,
run.
it should have been maybe like 100 books. You got to set up Spawn, you got to set up the mythology, set up the thing, and then knock it down. And although if you think about it, Spawn is just Ghost Rider
Yes.
with a cooler outfit.
It's Ghost Rider, but he's not doing anything. His job is not to do anything good.
Well,
Ghost Rider's job is to do something good.
he was supposed to punish people.
Yes.
I thought that was the same thing in Spawn.
Spawn was supposed to lead the army of the dead.
I thought that was eventually his thing, but in
Yes.
the movie he
movie
starts
was-
punishing people.
Oh, the movie was just wrong.
Listen, I'm getting all my information from the movie because I didn't want to read the book.
Oh, you should. In that case, the first 10 of Spawn are right there. 10.
Okay, I mean, I
can-
love reading.
I
I
know
just
you
didn't
like-
want to read that garbage. Sorry if you like Spawn.
I'm not. It's Spawn. I didn't get into it on the level that a lot of people got into it. Like to me, he's not a cool character. It's a douche who sold his soul for one thing, and then as all deals with the devil, it gets turned on him, and he's whiny bitch about it.
Although I will say this, that Ghost Rider movie was a bag of garbage.
I think we can all agree that all the Ghost Rider movies, both
No.
the first one,
the Nick Cage.
oh yeah,
one?
there are 2 of them. Do you know there's 2 of them?
There's a second. Oh yeah, that's right.
The Spirit of Vengeance,
The spirit.
where
of,
they took away all the rules from the first one.
the spirit of making more money because we call it the Ghost Rider. The only one who's done Ghost Rider good so far has been Shield.
Yes, because they used a different Ghost Rider.
Yeah,
They used Robbie Reyes. It's the car, not the bike. It was smart.
but it wasn't even all of those changes. It was just a better execution.
Yeah.
I think if they had used the original Ghost Rider and they used the original story, it would have been fine. In Shield, it would have been fine because the writing was good.
The writing was better than
That movie is a bag of turds. Like,
But if you look back, that Ghost Rider,
they borrowed the shit demon from the Kevin Smith films to make that right.
all 3 Fantastic Fours, Fantastic Four, Rise of the Silver Surfer, and Fantastic Four, all 3 of them were garbage. It was Marvel didn't have the rights to them. Since Marvel wasn't touching it, it wasn't good.
Fantastic Four will never be a good movie.
I think this new one's supposed to be really good.
I'm going to tell you from my perspective, I think Fantastic Four is one of those things that works as a comic book
And nothing
it gets goofy as a movie. Because the first thing everybody's thinking is when is like Richard Reed going to like whip his dick out that's 19 feet long.
They're never going to do that. As much as every comic book nerd would, I want to see it, they're never going to do it.
And the thing is that you sit there and it just doesn't make sense. Like, okay, he's got stretching ability, but now he's a rock and he's on fire. Like, I don't understand how the same gamma ray poisoning made 4 different people occur. And don't come at me with the origin story. I don't care either. it is just a garbage idea. It was like the Stretch Armstrong guy makes lots of money. Let's make a Stretch Armstrong guy in the Marvel universe.
I hate to say it. Fantastic Four predates that by a lot.
okay.
A lot.
I apologize, but still, it sucks.
Those were 50s characters.
So what I'm saying is that there's no depth, right? As far as Richard Reed can stretch,
He doesn't have the
he
depth.
doesn't have the depth either. He's a puddle someplace.
Oh, man. I forgot what the topic was. You're just shitting on comic books.
Whether or not albums having a thumbprint and a through point are better than albums that are put together by singles. And an LP is better because it has a balance to
I'm
it.
going to throw one out there that has nothing to do with it because you made me think of Reed Richards.
Okay.
Elastigirl from The Incredibles. When she was pregnant, do you think she just expanded it and they walked in there and got it? Or did she have to deliver it the old-fashioned way? And broken.
So I think that Reed Richard came in and delivered the baby. She stretched out, he stretched out, and they just did like a goal posting. She shot it out. He caught it in midair.
It's good. We are stupid. And by we, I mean me. I hope you know that.
No. This is a we thing. We're both participating.
Yeah. The list. Okay, so if you look at new albums have so little focus on the order in which tracks are presented that they don't know. Like there are I think Red Fang and a few others that specifically release their stuff on LPs make a concerted effort to do it, but
But you're also talking people that are in their 40s.
yeah, no,
They grew up on the albums. Let's go a different route. Go Limp Bizkit for a second.
Ugh.
No. Follow me on this. He's a record producer turned music maker, and it's formulaic, and it was following a specific thing in a specific way. Currently, he revisits it, makes himself an old man, has a beard, and he's flipping the joke on himself as a performer now, right? The song is dumb, the album is dumb, but it had a flow. He knew how to pick songs that were going to get popular. He knew how to put things together to make it interesting. He also knew how to use negative press to get airplay,
well, he had to.
right? But I'm
They
saying
weren't getting positive.
that's the whole point, though. He took the vitriol and said, "I'm still getting paid."
It's come see it.
Right? You hate it so much, you're still watching me, right? And you end up sitting there going, okay, cool. I now have this out. I made the money. And guess what? I'm going to do a reunion tour because now it's nostalgic. And I'm going to play up the old man aspect. Because what is he, like 55? He's not an old dude. He's not as old as he's portraying
Oh,
himself.
yeah, no.
He's got like the...
I'm still mad that they brought Corey Feldman on tour with them.
That makes it even better, right? He is literally going to make you sit through
Feld dog.
Corey Feldman on stage, soloing, and dancing
Soloing.
with his angels. Before he makes you listen to something, he goes,
He's done with the angel bit.
I can make money off of this. And let's even go to another avenue, right? You have Linkin Park, arguably one of the bigger bands of 2000.
Yes.
And got to a point of almost Soundgarden level notoriety. I don't know what the record comparisons are. I think they're like 18 million, 20 million. I think Soundgarden's like 50, 60 million. But because they were friends and they went on tour, they got to a higher level. And arguably say that being friends with Chris Cornell probably elevated their playing and their skill set. And they went from listening to click tracks to trying to play to Mike not even be able to play a goddamn guitar to now being the lead guitarist of the band.
I remember seeing them at Ozfest, and it was insufferable.
I'm not even talking about whether you like it.
We're talking in the beginning. Like it was the first Ozfest I went to, which was an early Ozfest. It was the Ozfest that people were getting booed off the stage.
Yeah.
So it was them. Tommy Lee, Methods of Mayhem got booed off the stage.
I totally forgot about Methods of Mayhem.
Oh, it was fucking terrible. It was
just a shame because Tommy is actually a good drummer.
It was consistently bad.
But when you think about it, right? They went from click tracks to I believe the lead singer was somewhat of a record producer beforehand. To
That I don't know.
Major players in the industry before his unfortunate passing, right? Whether you like him or don't, doesn't matter. They knew how to balance an album. They knew how to pull you in. They're one of the last bands in 2000 that got really big besides what's that other band with Emily?
Emily.
Is it Emily? The female vocalist, Evanescence.
Oh, Amy Lee.
Amy Lee, sorry. Another band right at the exact same time, right? She becomes a breakout artist with them. Whether you like them or don't, doesn't matter, right? Guitarist leaves. She still goes on to do what, 3 or 4 albums?
4 or 5, yeah.
Yeah, something like that. That I'm talking about in that vein that become like their mainstay of things, right?
Okay, yeah.
They're like bam, 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 bam. She's touring, consistent. She's doing what she needs to do. But again, someone who is in the realm of having an album that has been balanced, whether it's her, whether it's the people that are writing for her, any of that stuff, right? Then you go to people that are like nowadays that they'll throw one song out, right? And you can even go to rap artists with this as well. You go to like Eminem and G Unit, any of those people, they know how to bring you into the album. Like, you know, it's going to be something that's going to be off the wall.
Yep.
They also know how to balance it so that you hear it in the clubs as a song and it becomes this constant cycle because it's that good. They understand, like, listen, I got to get you to the last track and I'm going to get you to the last track by having someone on song, which is something that you haven't really seen in metal music, but has happened now. Like Mike Morton did the different singer with every single track.
Mark Morton.
Mark Morton, sorry.
Yeah. Just my brain ticked.
Yeah. So I'm saying, like, he released that album. It was a different singer for every track.
Nita Strauss did it.
Yeah. And you have all these people on it, but you had to buy the
I was
album.
saying Ozzy did it too. Ozzy did that last album. There was somebody he hadn't worked with before or with a very long time on each track.
Again, like Tony Iommi in 2000.
Oh.
Every single track on there is a different person.
Mm-hmm.
Phil Anselmo's on that. Peter Steele from Type O Negative's on that. You know, there's tons of people on it that are not in the realm of the thing. But does it get you to buy the whole album? Yeah, because you're going to be like, oh, I want to hear what Iommi does with Peter Steele. Is it going to be goth? Is it going to be doom? Is it going to be a combination of the two? You know, same thing goes with these other albums where you have rap artists, you have like the combination of like, oh, I'm going to get you to buy track 9 and track 8 and track 7 because I got so-and-so on these dropping bars. And it's a different idea, but
Yeah.
it's going to get you to go from point A to point B on the album.
And there's a lot of that missing from popular rock and metal.
Yeah, you don't see a lot
And
of
if you do
crossovers.
like the last album I think of that had a guest vocalist was Killswitch. 2 albums ago, they had Howard Jones come back and do a
I
duet,
remember, yeah.
and it was great.
But also think of it like this too.
And that was really to help. It helped promote Light the Torch. It helped them. It was
getting back out of metal into a different genre to point out inconsistencies where things have been done constantly. Blues music. B.B. King has had everybody and his brother on an album, right?
including his brother. No,
Including what the hell is his name? Eric Clapton.
Yep.
Right. And you have even newer people on the albums that are sitting there, and sometimes there's
Santana did it too.
Sometimes there's four guitarists on stage doing the same song.
Yep.
Right? And what does it do? It makes the live album sell. It shows you a different perspective of the same idea, and it gives you something new, but still it's something you love. And it still has to be balanced because he's going to do his set list as a balanced set list with not all the songs from the same album. So it still has to flow. You don't want to hear like Metallica in the beginning of a playlist, and then the second song you're going to hear afterwards is like an Oompa Loompa band. It's going to be the weirdest thing on the planet. Or maybe you do, and maybe that's where you want to go with
When
it.
you say Oompa Loompa band, do you mean a band of little people like Mini Kiss, or just like a bunch of goofy people?
I'm not touching that with a 10-foot pole. I'm talking about like going from metal to ska to blues. You when you curate your own playlist, you don't do that.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, we do because it's more than one person putting input, usually.
Okay, but I'm saying like, with my playlist, the playlist I was telling you about earlier, it has something that each one of the songs have. It may not sound the same, maybe like outlaw country here,
But it's a theme.
pop music here. There's some theme that ties them all together and gives you that like, oh, this is really cool. Live, you have to do it because if you bring 15,000 people to see you, and you have these one-off songs that have no flow to them, your stage show is going to be a joke because you're
gonna
not
be
going to be
goofy.
able to flow into anything.
Yeah. Well, there are very few bands that can do an album beginning to end on stage.
Which is another thing that's just started happening in metal music, where the thing to get you to come out is we're doing this album in its entirety.
Which is in for the most part is a newer thing, except for like prog bands or concept albums have been performed beginning to end, like Operation Mindcrime by Queensryche. Dream Theater did
Which Queensryche? The Queensryche
the
with
first
what's his
one.
name, or
The
the
original.
or the second Queensryche?
it was the first one.
Okay.
It was the Jeff Tate original. That was 87, 88.
Yeah. But that's the thing. That was the selling point. When they broke up, when he left,
Oh yeah.
and they both wanted to do Operation Mindcrime as a tour, they both did it like within 7 months of each other.
Oh yeah, and the argument was that they both had the right to do it, but they couldn't both call themselves Queensryche.
Yeah, but who cares, right? So the Queensryche fans are like, I get to see my favorite album twice, done and interpreted two different ways, and I get to go see it. But here's the question. Was it because the album was balanced and the album was good? Or was it because it was something nostalgic? Or was it both? And my argument is going to be that it was a thumbprint that made that song and that album be so ethereal, for lack of a better term, to people that listen to it and to love it, that getting to hear two sets of bands, both of them having original people in it, that I get to go see it twice.
I do have a funny thing though.
Okay.
You dropped your phone, sir.
Yes, it did. It's going to stay there.
Okay. So I don't know if you know who replaced Jeff Tate.
No.
Okay. A guy named Todd LaTorre.
Okay.
Okay. Not funny. The fact that he came from a band called Crimson Glory. So Todd LaTorre of Crimson Glory replaced Jeff Tate.
Did they have to do like an alliteration to point out his taking over the situation?
I don't know, but he was also not the singer of Crimson Glory. He was the drummer.
Sounds like a Mastodon thing.
It's crazy. But he also, now, more recently, he's been singing and recording some of the drums with Queensryche. So he's...
So what do they go by, the two bands?
The original members of Queens...
Queensryche, and then in Queensryche...
No, Queensryche
That was
tours
a good
under their...
joke.
It was.
It's like Alien and Aliens.
Aliens. So Queensryche tours under their original name with the umlauts and all that shit.
The other Queensryche have no umlauts?
No, Jeff Tate tours under Sweet Oblivion is his current band's name.
Should have been the Tatinator.
It should...
Tater Tots.
Tater Tots. Tate and Co.
My ego and other people.
He wanted to call it Bad Company, but that name was already taken.
I saw that, and I make this joke that I like to listen to the reels of people who have like online scuffles with each other. So it'll be like Machine Gun Kelly and Eminem, or
Machine Gun Kelly and
everybody else,
Corey Taylor.
And that's not a fight. That was such a smackdown end of it.
They were literally all verbal beatdowns of Machine Gun Kelly. It's just how can you start a fight that you're never going to win?
There's two people in this world that I would love to see just go after one person, and it would be Corey Taylor and Eminem. Just like both of them have a union where he does the rap section, Corey Taylor does the singing section, and do a song against somebody.
Forget singing. I just want to see Corey Taylor talk somebody down.
I want to hear it singing. I want to see the flow of those two things, because I think one, the person would be like, listen, I have to leave society. I have screwed up, but there's no coming back from this. I've done what I've done, and I'm out.
Have you ever seen the videos of somebody try to break a window in an office building with a chair?
Yeah, and it bounces back.
And it just keeps bouncing. It would just be that. These two in the corner yelling at him and him trying to break the window to jump out.
Did you see like the end of Indiana Jones where there's face just melts? That's all it would be. It would just be like a verbal assault, and this person's like
looking into the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah, it would be terrible. But yeah, those things are like the genesis of what ends up happening to the album. And I know we're going to talk about Low by Testament.
Yes.
And I feel like we picked albums that were not only great albums in and of themselves and had a flow, but they were almost considered perfect albums.
Some are absolutely
like
close
Low
to
is
perfect.
a perfect album. I feel, at least, and I feel like it gives enough of an homage back to Souls of Black and Practice What You Preach, but it's enough going forward. It's more into like the like the more growly vocals and stuff like that.
Low and Orosuka Doji and that stuff pushes more towards the death metal side that they were
They're
approaching.
just walking that a little bit of that line, like we'll come
And
back
then the
in a little
next
bit.
album
Come back.
was that line completely completely over the line into death metal.
Yeah.
And then my favorite Testament album, The Gathering, is their walk back towards thrash from death metal. And then since then, obviously, they've danced right in between death metal and thrash.
I also think that boils down to the fact of the new guitarists they have and stuff like that. You feel like that also paints a picture of the avenue they should go up and down. And I feel like if Trey Azagoth came to Testament, it would be a completely different world.
It's the only major.
Although I say his country album's pretty badass.
So the biggest changes to Testament in the last 20 years have been drums and bass.
Yeah.
And those
Well,
changes.
I thought what's his name hasn't been in Testament the entire time.
Alex Skolnick?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, he was replaced by James Murphy.
Yeah, and then
He was back.
he was back. So I mean, you have that ebb and flow.
But that was before The Gathering.
Yeah, but you still have that ebb
Oh, yeah.
and flow.
But then-
it's like listening to Suicidal Tendencies, and you can tell the diversion once Rocky leaves, and then the other gentleman takes over. I'm sorry, I am terrible with names. I apologize. And then you have this going off. It's still Suicidal Tendencies,
But it's not quite the
it's
same.
not.
Well, that was-
how I smell today, but I can't even laugh tomorrow. Whatever the hell the track is called, and Lights, Camera, Revolution. That's not the same thing.
No.
After that, Psycho Mike is a great album. It stands up, but there's something I just feel like there's like that one little bit that should be sprinkled on top. And even Rob Trujillo is no longer in the band.
Yep.
So you have another person that was bounced out and onto bigger things. Not saying better,
like-
but bigger.
I forget. I think Ty Trujillo is playing with them.
Yeah.
So Rob Trujillo's son is playing with Infectious Grooves because he had done work with Korn before that.
Yeah, and then he also had his own band, and that was before he left high school, which was really cute. Sorry, I have to go make millions of dollars on tour. I will learn about geography when I return.
Right up there with Wolfgang Van Halen.
Yeah, I mean, and here's another person.
16 years old, joins Van Halen.
But have you listened
Oh,
to
I
his
love his
side
new
stuff?
stuff.
Again, a person who is what? What is he, like 27, 28 now?
He's maybe 27, 28.
Yeah. His world is not tapes, CDs, LPs. His world is computers. But because he was raised by someone that was tapes, LPs, and CDs, he has an understanding. Also, one of the better tones on someone I've seen in a long time. And it's probably because he has original, 5150s and stuff like that are hanging out in the back because his dad has like 10,000 amps. And you said before, we were talking about the previous episode about nepotism. That I don't see nepotism because
It started out that way. You could definitely
no, because he played drums when he first started.
no.
Yes, he did.
He played bass.
He played drums.
He played bass for Van Halen first.
No, but I'm talking about his side band. He played drums.
Oh
first.
no, he started out playing. No, he recorded all of it himself.
That I knew, but I thought the first part was drums, and then he came back to it. So
No, he started with guitar and bass. He actually, before his dad passed, he was working with. He had covered for the bassist of Tremonti's solo band. Mm-hmm. He had his own. Mark Tremonti had his own band. He was doing solo albums, and they were going to do shows, and their bassist couldn't make it. I think he had just had a kid or something, and he came out and did the bass work for those live shows, and he's like, I don't mind doing it. I like doing it, and he messed around with guitar and stuff like that, and then he's like, you should just start writing for yourself, and he started writing for himself.
But again, I mean, I don't. You can have him on stage. It's not Eddie Van Halen.
No, it's not.
It's not Van Halen.
But he is good enough that he can stand on his own.
I agree with that.
Like
And
I've seen like live performances of those new songs, and they're awesome. And he's awesome live.
And what's nice about it too is he doesn't get into the bull, like
Oh, the fights between
the fights between ex singers and
Sammy
Van
and
Halen
Dave
him. Like Dave is taking pop shots at a kid. It's like, dude, you're 50 and you're going after like
he's
an 18-year-old.
way more than 50.
Whatever. It doesn't matter. It still just shows how. What's the word I'm looking for? How lacking of couth the man has.
Oh, Dave has always been.
he's got the Megadeth syndrome.
He's a clown. The problem is he's a clown.
No one's as good as it was with me. Da 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 da. You'll miss me when I'm gone. No, dude, nobody did.
I have I have a very big love for Sammy Hagar, and the Sammy Hagar Van Halen stuff. I love it.
I never cared for Van Halen, and I think that's one of those things. Like, I had in my musical taste, I had people who influenced me, and one person was really heavy, more into Van Halen and stuff like that, and I just it seemed too much.
Do I know that person?
Yeah, I'm just not going into detail.
I'm just trying to think who it is.
I'll tell you later.
Okay.
And then the other person was more into the heavier stuff, and there was almost a very 80s feel about that I just didn't get into.
Okay.
Like, I never got into a lot of the 80s pop music either. Like, there's not, I don't sit there and go, oh, you know,
The fact that you can't
Take
pick-
on Me or something like that.
the fact that you didn't say
yeah.
Aha or Bananarama or Wham.
None of that stuff
Yeah.
like pops into my head as like a piece of music that popped that like I think about in my childhood. Like Huey Lewis and the News does.
Oh yeah.
Bob Seger does. Unfortunately, for other people who were influences of mine, listening to classical music does. Like that. A lot of that stuff plays in the background for me when I say, "Oh, I know that song." That's some, like childhood thing, but that's Eddie. Like Van Halen felt to me. This is like such a sacrilege. I apologize because he's a very good like musician. It felt very dated. It feels like there's a
There was an
never
expiration
left the
date on it.
80s. They brought the 80s into the 90s and the 90s into the 80s into the 2000s. And that might be the fact of like, you know, just he always had his own thing, and some bands have their own sounds and I just don't go along with it. And it just doesn't pop into my ear. I mean, also I just got a Fender guitar for the first time in 25 years. I haven't played Fender. I played nothing but Gibsons.
Is it a Strat?
Telecaster too.
Oh, big humbuckers, little humbuckers.
Fuck if I know. I honestly like the shape, and I was like, if I don't like the way it sounds, I'll just replace the pickups. Because that's what my thought process. I wanted something that had a wider set fret. So I was like,
I had such a hard time finding basses that were comfortable and then sounded good, that the way I like them to sound. Mm-hmm. And for a long time, it was Music Man. The Music Man body.
I know. You basically had stock in it with the amount of
I have
guitars
so
you had.
many of them.
Yeah.
And they're not all Ernie Ball. I have a couple of Sterlings. I have a couple of OLPs. You know, they're all different ranges and quality. And I only recently learned that the difference between Ernie Ball and Sterling is not only the name and the price,
$350.
the thickness, the width of the neck.
Really?
I did not notice this. And then I saw a video on it. I literally pulled out my Ernie Ball.
But let your Eddie Ball.
Yeah. I left the Burt Ball in the underwear.
You're not on speaking terms?
It looks like Sweetums. It doesn't look like Burt. Anyway, I pulled it out. I played it. I put that away and took out one of the Sterling basses, and the neck is so much thinner, and the feel is so different. Neither one of them is bad. It just they bring out a different hand position for me.
Definitely. And that's why I like Gibsons for so long, because the Gibson necks were always wider. But the thing is, their fret placing wasn't. So when you have like ginormous hands that, you know, go from the first fret to the 12th fret without trying,
Yeah.
especially on a Gibson,
Not me, but you.
I can get to like the 7th fret just by doing that. On a Fender, it's not like that. Like I'm getting maybe 5th fret if I'm lucky.
Well, the
So it's a
irony
nicer
is,
set.
I bought a Fender jazz bass a couple
remember-
years
yeah, I
back.
remember
It's
that.
beautiful. I love it, and I didn't appreciate it when I got it. I'm like, did I buy? Should I return it? And then
Yeah, I remember because that was like a more pricier one. You were surprised.
that was I bought a bass. Like I was a super big.
It's like when you buy the parental car as opposed to the $10,000 car that you can afford. You're like, I got my Pilot. Oh, great.
But I bought it. I wasn't happy with it, and I was talking to the guy who sets up my guitars about it, and he goes, "Listen, I'm not telling you to bring me business, but bring it to me, and I'll set it up. If you like it, keep it. If not, sell it and tack the price of the setup onto what you're selling it for."
Yeah, that makes sense.
I brought it to him. He set it up. I got flat wounds on it,
Okay.
the Steve Harris style. Mm-hmm. Just, you know, some flat wounds for me. If it's not,
I didn't play bass long enough to bother to know what my bass instruction was 6 months. Got a Rick, learned how to play Anastasia Pulling Teeth, realized I wanted to be a soloist, and I dumped the Rickenbacker.
so the biggest thing with trying it with flats was they're better for recording.
Okay.
You get less of the scrape.
Yeah. I mean,
for bass.
You know, I understand that. If you're going for a tonality thing, yeah, I get that. And if you were looking for more of a crunch sound, I can understand if wanting to scrape in there.
Well, ironically, I do like we call it clank. That the Geezer Butler clanky sound.
Yeah,
Best way to describe it. I love it. So, in getting that sound on that bass, I was like, I fell in love. That was it. I'm done. And then I couldn't stop. I still bought more basses because I'm stupid.
I mean, I bought my Rickenbacker in 2000. Now, the last Rickenbacker that had dual outputs, and if you look up my Rick on Reverb or any of those places to buy them, I bought it at $9. It's worth $3,000.
I was gonna tell you it's a 4003 Jet Glow
Yeah,
bass. I remember the only reason I remember is because it's so nice.
yeah.
And those things they are so nice, but
But the company got bought out, and
Yep.
apparently, if you buy the same thing now, it's like a piece of garbage.
it's a single pickup and it's hummy. Yeah,
I've never played a newer one.
I know someone who has Rickenbackers, that multiple of them, and they're not happy with the new ones. They always try to get, like, they'll trade or sell for old equipment
Yeah.
or old parts. They're not the same.
No.
Even Ernie Ball has changed so much. You know,
Interesting, because even Gibson's is terrible now. The quality assurance, so bad.
I told you that one of the best non huge name brand basses I own is a Harley Benton.
Harley Benton was coming up for a long time. They have a really good. There's another. I call them cheap brands, but like affordable brands that. There's another guy I follow on YouTube that's been like touting, like $200-$300 for a guitar, and like he was playing it on a 5150 versus a Harley Benton versus Black Beauty.
I know
They were
that's
all-
Glenn Fricker.
Yes, Glenn. Yes, Glenn. And they were He was showing us like, and they all held their own. But he goes, here's the price point, $250. I think it was $325 for the Harley, and then the Gibson was like $700,000, something like that. And he goes, you could buy like 4 of these, 3 of these, or 1.
Yeah.
And he goes, these 2 are going to stay. And the thing is, he revisited them later and he showed. He goes, listen, the binding's still good. Glue is still good. It's still tuning properly. The truss rod's there. You're not getting a lot of neck bend. He goes, yes, it's in a studio. Yes, it's temperature controlled. I mean, he goes, I don't have that ability to just be like, okay, I'm going to put this out in the, out here.
I can speak to the temperament of the instrument. That 4-string, I have a 4-string Harley Benton. It's a P bass pickup and a split P pickup.
Okay.
So it's both a P bass and a Music Man at the same
cool.
time, and it's selectable.
It's the best of both worlds for you.
It really is. It can do both. It's active and passive.
That's cool.
It's got it's
Is it one of the push-pull button things?
yeah. It's a push pull active passive. It's a single 9-volt. My Fender's 18, so it's 2 9-volt batteries in series.
Powered in pairs? Or
They're powered in series.
series, yeah.
It's great, but it's a lot. But
Yeah,
the Harley Benton, it was like $350,
Yeah, you can't beat that.
and I mean, I could take this out of the case tomorrow and go and play a show if I had the practice. But you know what I mean.
But I'm saying
I could
is-
plug it in and just play it
I
as
completely
is.
understand what you're saying. What's interesting, though, is if you think about it, you get 2 basses for the price of 1. You get active and passive for the price of 1.
And the crazy thing is, that's not a copy of a P bass or a Music Man. It's a copy of a Sandberg.
Okay.
And Sandberg basses are basically what happened after Music Man.
And what's interesting, though, is if you think about that, like, that duality gives you so many options.
And they make
And then something new, can you play the pickups in pair in like, unison?
yeah, no,
Maybe
they're
bridge.
blend. It's not a switch. It's a blend.
That's cool.
It's a blend knob.
And
so I
what's
can
like
actually balance
what's the
them.
split? Is it 50-50?
It can go anywhere from total 1 all the way to 50-50, all the way to total the
Oh,
other.
that's not bad.
It's a single three-way knob.
And what are you playing through? The computer or an actual amp?
Well, I can do both.
Yeah,
but
but when
at
you
home,
first set it up.
oh, when I set it up at home, it goes through the HX Stomp, which is emulating an Aguilar Tonehammer bass amp, a Ampeg 410 HLE cabinet, and then I have a compressor pedal and a DI box, all within the Stomp. It's basically the full rig I would normally use, just in headphones.
All right, we're diverging for topics, but I want to ask a question.
Does the topic matter with the conversation?
Do you feel that digital is ruining live performance?
Depends on what you mean by digital.
Well,
If,
so
like amp
perfect-
modeling?
Yeah, amp modeling, fractals, stuff like that. Because I was thinking the other day, I was watching a very interesting interview with how much tickets cost now, right? Metallica went the way of making everything fractal. So they have perfect everything. They sound exactly the same every time you come to see them, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's fair to the customer, especially when they're paying $200 or $300 per seat, right? I want to see Metallica at their best.
Yeah.
Right? Cool. But I also feel like it pulls the performance away because now you don't have to fight to get the same thing. And also there's no, it doesn't matter what recording you hear of them in the last, let's say like 5-7 years of using Fractal.
The tone is the same.
Every single night.
I have a difference of opinion, and only slightly. So I went to see, it was Lamb of God, Machine Head, and Trivium back at the Roseland.
Oh, this is a long time ago.
It was a long time ago. Lamb of God started their set, and about 5 minutes in, the lights go out. The sound goes out. Everything shuts down. It takes them, they have to swap out equipment. It takes them almost 20 minutes to catch up.
This was digital or this was analog?
This was analog. This
Okay.
was all analog back then. This would have been 4 switches and the reboot of the board. Otherwise, all those problems could have been literally power off, power on.
I bet it is also less gear to lug around.
It's 100% less gear. I literally, the pedal board I have sitting on my desk at home is this wide by this long. And it has the stomp. It has a
You
DI.
may want to actually tell people because they can't.
Oh.
This wide by this long, so like 2 feet by 2 feet.
19 inches by 6 inches deep by 4 inches tall.
Okay.
Including a power supply underneath, a controller for the stomp so I can select between presets along with the pedals that are on the stomp, a tuner built onto that, which controls the stomp. Next to that is it's a recording pedal where I can hit it. It'll start recording just what I'm playing raw.
Okay.
So that's the first pedal that goes in.
So you can record it before it goes into the computer.
I can record it before it goes into anything and play it back through there. I use it for sampling to test out sound.
Can you then dump that to the computer and then while you're recording, can it be actively played?
I can do.
And then record another pass through.
I can do multiple playthroughs. I can do multiple layers.
No, what I'm saying is you recorded, let's say, a 3-minute guitar piece.
I can throw it right onto the computer, and then from there I can record over it on a new track.
Can you also play it and then record at the same time while you're doing? That's cool.
Yep. It's all based on it. This pedal. I think it's called the Backtrack.
That's cool. I don't think I've heard of that one.
It was from TC Electronics. It's a cute little pedal. It's a little tiny nothing pedal. It connects to your phone via Bluetooth if you want to sample tracks or pull tracks off.
That's cool.
Or you can literally plug it in and dump onto a computer.
And what's the built-in memory for it?
It's 32 gigs.
That's not bad.
Yeah, no, it's great. And for it was $100.
That's not bad at all.
$100, and it was 5-6 years ago.
So just for inflation, probably like 125, 150 now.
Yeah. And then the pedal next to that is a knockoff of a very expensive pedal.
Okay.
I bought Dark Glass makes these really boutique bass pedals. So they have the Alpha Omega. It's this beautiful multi-band EQ, DI plus distortion all in one. I had one. I bought it. I sold it for more than I paid for it, and then I bought this one for $50.
You still have that the one we went to the city to get that was custom made?
Oh, the Woolly Mammoth?
Yeah.
No, I had to sell that.
Really?
Yeah, it's a great pedal, but it's not good for active electronics. So most of my basses are active. So it sounded like Muddy Mess. But with the Stomp, I found they have a version of the ZVEX Show, which is the one that's made for active electronics. So I'm able to use the same type of pedal.
Wasn't that like $400 that pedal?
Yeah.
That was insane.
Yep.
That was hand painted and everything.
It was hand painted by some dude.
That was pretty cool.
It was
Where did we pick that up?
That was not not Manny's, Rudy's.
Rudy's, yeah. I remember because I remember you were sitting there. You were like, should I? Shouldn't I? Should I? Shouldn't
And then I did, and I loved it.
Yeah.
Until I plugged it into another bass other than my. At the time, I had a Fender P bass. The baby, remember Baby Shit Yellow?
Yep. That was disgusting.
That thing was ugly,
Yes.
but it was a good bass.
No. Nothing has to look good in order to sound good.
I traded that one for Music Man. It was a good choice, honestly.
Honestly, the music you should write to Music Man, tell them how many basses you have, and they should
Send me another one.
no, they should endorse your podcast.
I have I would say I've only owned one regular Music Man, like an Ernie Ball Music Man. The rest of them are Sterlings or OLPs. The OLPs aren't worth anything because they're an Indonesian company. They got the license to make the body shape, and they rammed out thousands of them within like 4 months. And the quality wasn't amazing, and they're easily dinged up. I have one, the one with the moon pickguard, the black one, has a major ding in it in the body. It something fell and hit it, and it like chipped the paint and dinged the wood.
Damn.
So I'm gonna try to get it fixed. I've been saying this for years. I want to get it like body filler repainted, and then I have the blue version of that with it's blue with a maple neck. It's beautiful, and then I have another one of those that I bought in pieces. Somebody was selling just the body, and it looked like it had been out in the window of a store. So all the outside is light blue except where the pick guard was, and that's dark blue. So
That's
it's the
cool.
original color in the middle.
Yeah. So you have
And
like
then-
a two-tone going on.
And then I put a maple neck on it, and I have the electronics ready to go into it. I just haven't done it, and that's going to just need a setup, and that's ready to rock.
All right, so now everybody go outside and buy Music Man, LOP,
No.
5150s, Harley
Benton.
Benton.
I tell anyone who wants to buy an instrument to buy a Harley Benton from the cheapest, like the $100 bass. They're $100. Like I think their P basses are even cheaper than that. Anything from their bass line is worth the money. Jenny got me a 6-string fretless bass for Christmas one year from Harley Benton. It is one of the nicest basses I've ever owned, and it cost nothing. It was $200.
That's not bad.
And the only
it
reason
plays well.
the only reason I agreed to let her buy it, I never wanted to get music instruments as gifts. The only reason I agreed is because she's like, I can save on shipping because I'm going to get you a bass cabinet as well. Because they ship in bulk, so they shipped a bass cab and the bass for $90.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Do you have another album we can talk about?
You know what? No.
LPs are better than.
No, they're not. Fucking no. We should get going. You have some family responsibilities. I apparently have a family waiting downstairs.
Oh, did you get texted?
No, I got texted like an hour ago. And Ray's here. So we've been rambling for an hour.
Would you like to wrap it up at least instead of just being like, "Hey,
Imagine I just-
jackasses"? We're not.
Imagine I just click it off
That'd be really fun.
and go fuck yourself.
Right in the middle of the sentence, just go.
I wish I could time it that well.
You don't have to. You can just edit it out.
It doesn't work the same. It doesn't feel right.
You can't hang up the phone.
In the same way, the mental problems with setting things up, it has to be a certain way in here. The same way I have to end it the way I end it because I'm weird.
So what is your conclusion? Is it better or worse?
My brain worse.
No. Your opinion on the idea of an album being set up from beginning to end.
The problem is that we were arguing from the same side the whole time.
No, we didn't because we also got Black Label Society releasing the same 5 albums.
But we both agreed that it was terrible.
Yes.
We were fighting on the same side of the war. I thought you realized at one point that we were just agreeing with each other. What? Going off.
So I guess the answer is, in most cases, it's a good idea.
It can be, but
to
it's
have an ability to see the album as its entirety.
but it's also bad to use that as the cookie cutter for everything you do.
Yes.
So we're gonna get
We
going.
got nothing done.
We got nothing accomplished. By the way,
I hope whoever's listening, you did your math homework or clean the garage or, I don't know, use this to kill cancer cells and people who need cancer cells killed.
this is the distraction for most people. Background noise while they're shitting. Enjoy your poops.
I think this is the sound of shitting.
Little bit. So for now, take care of each other. Take care of yourselves. Hail Halford. Later.